is Rob Thompson. You're watching SportsBz Radio. I got Russell Reeder over there. Say hello, Russell.
Hey, how you doing?
So thank you for getting up super early on a Saturday morning. I know you're a West Coast guy, but hey, the life of an entrepreneur, right?
Definitely. Yeah, no, it wasn't too bad. I was happy to have you take time out of your Saturday to hear a little bit about our story. So nothing too bad.
I love Saturdays. My phone's not really ringing. No emails are happening. You get a different background than in my normal studio. Get to see my office in my house. But anyway, so let's talk about you and your business. So how did the idea come about? And just tell us about kind of that journey from the beginning to where you are now.
Yeah, definitely. We have an interesting beginning because we actually didn't start with our product, CoachIQ, that we're working on right now. We actually started with a company called Athletic Outlook. And a little background from the start is, our entire mission was how could we allow coaches to seamlessly coach athletes online. And with that premise, after school, after being a former athlete myself, I teamed up with a software developer, and we actually built a marketplace, and that's what Athletic Outlook was. And what I mean by marketplace is we rounded up some of the top coaches in football specifically, former NFL coaches, high-end retired college coaches, built a marketplace that would allow high school athletes to reach those high-end coaches. And then we built an underlying online technology to power that relationship between the high-end coach and the athlete. And that's actually how we started. We launched that marketplace, and we were able to do thousands of online coaching sessions from high-end premium coaches with the underlying online technology that we built. And it wasn't too long, really. We were in the market for probably half a year. And it wasn't too long to where we really hunkered down and made the decision to double down on the technology itself rather than trying to build out a full-fledged marketplace. And what I mean by that is we saw that the online technology was doing a really great job in allowing these two parties to coach online with specific sports features that I can dive into more. And we had a lot of interest from other sports facilities, other trainers, other coaches trying to scale their coaching and reach more athletes more often. So we thought it was a more scalable and larger opportunity, coupled with some other data points. So we ended up doubling down on the technology itself, converted it to a B2B SaaS platform where any coach, any facility can use our technology to better coach their athletes online and scale their coaching. So kind of a long-winded answer, but that's our origin. We started as a marketplace, got in the market, launched, learned a bunch, did a ton of online coaching. It was a great experience, and then really doubled down on the technology. And now we license the technology to multiple different private facilities and private trainers.
No, that's smart. Do you end up, is there going to be a version for a B2C? So are you going to kind of branch out and look for those one-off parents, or is that a harder push for you?
To be honest, actually, in our current beta, we have acquired some very large facilities with a lot of large end users that we can work a little closer with. And it's been great for us because we get to work so close with these large facilities that have very large channels, and really dive into the nitty-gritty details of our technology, how they're coaching people online as if it is our own B2C company. So that's been really amazing. As far as to answer your question, we don't really have any specific plans to open up our own marketplace again anytime soon, primarily just because of focus. With a small team and the technology itself being very complex, we're laser focused on B2B, even though we do have those old assets from our marketplace that are pretty valuable. So we may revisit, we may look to sell those assets or convert them into one of our clients that we're licensing our technology to right now. It kind of all depends, but to answer your question, really staying focused on B2B and the technology.
It's super smart. It's so hard sometimes as an entrepreneur because you want to travel down 5 lanes, you know, you realize you just can't service everybody, and to have kind of those portals throughout the country of having them sell this for you and added value to what their services are, it's a brilliant move, Russell. So congrats. I want to talk to you a little bit about what you're seeing in kind of that incubator college startup space. We touched about it a little bit, but were there programs that you guys went through that were offered through colleges, whether they're startup programs or whether there were incubators that kind of came out of the college space that helped you with this process?
Definitely. I personally went through, UC Davis had a big bang startup competition. So right when I actually finished playing sports, I entered the school startup competition with my remaining last half of the year, and that was actually a phenomenal program. There were about 100 companies, fairly early stage, but they brought in great mentors week after week, taught us a bunch of stuff, and then we had a final kind of pitch in front of multiple judges where they handed out, I think it was $100,000 in prizes, and we won. I think it was what was termed as like third place, won a little bit of money, and then kind of went from there. But it was a great experience as far as going through a startup program at my own university.
Do you think that the region that you went to school up in Silicon Valley area of Northern California too was that kind of, it obviously would say it's a big part of the culture up there for startup, do you see that in other parts of the country as well for a real opportunity, an option for college kids coming out that maybe are interested in the sports tech or just sports business in general? Do you see that, you personally, that there's more and more kids that are saying, you know what, I don't want to go work for anybody else. I want to be a solopreneur?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. So, I mean, breaking it down a little, are you asking about in the Bay Area specifically? Like, what do you see advantages being in the Bay Area specifically, or what specific, what are you asking regarding the Bay Area?
I know. I have like secret coded questions half the time. I ask you like 5 questions in one all the time. So start with the Bay Area. Just what was that culture like there? And then what are you seeing out there in the industry across the country as you travel and you talk to other startups and other peers kind of within your demographic? Is that something that's just that culture of not wanting to work for somebody anymore? Is that being... anyways, I hope that makes sense.
Yeah. So for the first phase of the question, I think that it was amazing being in the Bay Area. A lot of my classmates, they had either interned at the top tech companies or they were building their own side projects. I was friends with a lot of software developers, so I think it was very beneficial for me personally, being a customer in the sports world and being so entrenched in the problems in the sports world, yet seeing everything that's going on in the tech world firsthand, with everything that they're building, the best companies that are coming out right now, how financing is working, and just overall meeting great people. I think it was a great combination for me personally, because I feel like, the sports industry sometimes can be a little behind what's going on in the cutting edge of the technology space. So it was phenomenal to learn what was going on there and kind of take it to my own personal problems in the sports arena, and then also network with those people. And then as far as your second question, do I see more people my age wanting to be entrepreneurs as I go and talk to more people throughout the nation? and other founders, I definitely think it's a growing trend. I definitely think it's been, people make it out to seem like something that it's not. It's a lot of hard work. It's very high risk, and there's a very high fail rate. And you have to be a little crazy to just keep going at certain points. But whereas looking firsthand into entrepreneurship, you think of Elon Musk and I want to start my own thing and I'm just going to have this $1 billion company if I just keep working. And that's really not the case. So I think it is much more popular, and I see a lot more people getting into it. And I encourage people to push something really, really far, a side project really, really far before completely just leaving their job. But you're 100% correct. I'm seeing a huge surge in this, and a huge surge in programs and accelerators and everything the like. So
How about from your own perspective, what did you learn about yourself going through this? Now that it's one thing to start a business, but it's another thing now when you're starting talking about real money.
yeah.
And what is it that you found out about yourself, from your EQ standpoint, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you, your mental toughness has to kick in on this, things you learned in sports, but what difference have you seen in yourself since you started?
That's a great question, especially for people maybe watching this thinking whether they want to get into entrepreneurship or not. My favorite part of building a company and doing entrepreneurship is, much like sports, it's been growth. So where I started back in 2017 when I graduated college, I'm just completely different, from all the battle wounds, from launching in the market, from building product. And to see that growth over time has been amazing. And it gives me a lot of comfort in what I'm doing because I feel like I'm building a lot of skills that will be useful even beyond this company. So that has been the best part, hands down, is I feel like I'm continually growing, and entrepreneurship specifically is one of the hardest things you can choose to force yourself to continue to grow as a person, as executing on an opportunity, mental toughness, like you said. So all of that would be the one thing that I would say I've seen over time.
I use the example of being an entrepreneur is like dog years. What is it, like 7 years for 1 year of being alive? It's not like kind of, especially in the sports tech space, because it could scale so quickly. So many things could happen in 1 week that, in the old days, it would take you 7 months to kind of make a little progress. Now you could get all these things done in a week. So, but not only does your business scale, but you as a person and your mind and your experience scales even quicker.
Yeah.
And I don't think people give that a lot of acknowledgement,
Yeah.
So
Another thing that's been really great too, I've seen with a lot of my friends that are graduating, is entrepreneurship really forces you to network with other founders, network with angel investors, or whoever it is, networking. And that's been the second best piece of this. Is I feel like if I got a sales job at a tech company or something at a tech company, I wouldn't be networking as much as I am now, and building these connections that I have over these couple of years. So that's another huge thing as well.
So speaking of connections, tell people how they can get in touch with you if they want to reach out from collaboration, they want a little bit more information on it, they want a demonstration of what your product is. How do they reach you?
Definitely. You can reach me on LinkedIn, or you can visit our website, CoachIQ.io, and just fill out our contact form, and one of our team members will reach out to you shortly.
Wonderful. And obviously I'm going to post and give the information on your website. Russell's going to be down there at Orlando for Gameplay and You SportsBz Startup Weekend, which is next weekend during the NFL Pro Bowl down in Orlando. He's part of the cohort that's the first class of Gameplay and You, and we're certainly lucky to have someone as talented, smart, and willing to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday.
No, thank you for having me. I'm excited for Gameplay and You and everything that you've put together. So I'm excited to see you this weekend.
Awesome. I'm Rob Thompson with SportsBz Radio. That's Russell Reeder over there. We'll see you soon, everybody. Thanks for joining us this morning. Thank you, Russell. We'll see you next week.